Here again with my very first Shameless Season 6 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you weren't caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Shameless, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description if that happens to be the case and you're not caught up. It would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for those of you that are wondering, I have watched this show all the way through one time, just rewatching it because I really like the show, although I know some of the seasons aren't that good, especially towards the end. But at the moment, we're dealing with some of the good stuff. With that in mind, this will be Shameless Season 6, Episode 1, the Season 6 premiere. The title of this episode is called I Only Miss Her When I'm Breathing. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watch the episode. So we start the season off with Frank laying on Bianca's, her headstone, her grave area, and he's just devastated over her loss. He really, really liked her. I guess he really got along with her. And then we have Fiona waking up next to Sean. So at some point during the end of Season 5 and the beginning of Season 6, Fiona and Sean do hook up. Because in Season 5, the end of the season, she goes to Patsy's and says, I'm in love with you in that, but nothing really happens of it. But apparently things happen with her and Sean. And Frank, we get a topless scene by Fiona, which is always nice. And something about, Sean sleeping with a married woman. And it's like, well, we're separated technically. Anyway, Frank tells Fiona that he loves her and tells Fiona a story about Bianca. Then Frank tells Debbie he loves her. And Frank is really upset about Bianca's death. He tells Liam he loves him on his way out as well. And then Liam was actually playing with a switchblade, one of Carl's weapons. And Fiona, being funny, tells Debbie that she really, really loves her, and Debbie laughs. Liv is staring at a sleeping, naked Helene, and he even takes a picture of her with her breasts exposed. Fiona takes Debbie to the hospital. Debbie doesn't want Fiona to go in with her. The two Lisas from Season 5 want Kevin to sign a petition regarding a neighbor who's making a very loud noise with a motorcycle over and over again. Carl is in juvenile hall and he has cornrows now, and actually Carl is getting out early, even earlier than Chucky, if that's hard to believe, because it is. Debbie is pregnant. She gets confirmation, but she tells Fiona that she's not pregnant. Lip wakes up Professor Ewings in his car, who he's a TA for, and he obviously got hammered the night before. At Patsy's, Sean asks about Debbie. Svetlana wants Ian to go to see Mickey with her. He won't see her if or she won't be able to see him if he doesn't go with. Mickey doesn't want to see her unless Ian's there, and she offers to pay him to go. Frank goes to sin. He really misses Bianca. Common theme here. And the priest wants Frank to let other people confess, as he's been doing this for a while now. Cav goes over to talk to the neighbor Giannis, played by Will Sasso, who a lot of you say I look like, which is not that hard to see. And he says he's going to rape fuck the dyke out of the two Lisas until they're begging for more Giannis. So this Giannis character is a bit of a crazy fella. Sean's assistant manager is arrested, and he's going to need a new assistant manager. Frank's talking to people of many different religions, bugging them about Bianca, even monks who aren't talking back to him. Derek seems rather annoyed with Debbie. Lip, of course, is Ewing's TA, and Ewing's is late for a class, so Lip starts the class off, teaching it, and Ewing's shows up a few minutes afterwards. We now have Svetlana serving drinks out at the Alibi. Frank is still sticking to his one drink a day. He wants to tell everybody about the love of his life, and Tommy's like, we've already heard that shit before, Frank. Go away. Sean's assistant manager wasn't using. He was cooking. And Sean suggests that Fiona take the role as the assistant manager. One of the students in Ewing's class got mad that Lip graded his paper with a D. And Lip's like, well, you copied this off. It's plagiarism and you copied it. I tell you what, put this in your own words and I'll give you a better grade. And Ewing's takes notice of that. Gangsta Carl has arrived home. Fiona's really happy to see Carl. Now I'm going to say a word that offends some people, but it's what was said in the show. So Carl sees Liam and calls him a nigga, and Liam says cracker because he's holding a thing of crackers, which was pretty funny. And then Carl wants a friend to sleep over, and Fiona says, okay, that's cool. Svetlana goes to see Mickey in jail. Ian does come with. She did pay him. And he tells Mickey he only came because Svetlana paid him. And Mickey tells Ian he's been thinking about him. Debbie is told by Derek's mom that Derek is actually moving to Florida. Frank tells Carl, 14 and already a convicted drug trafficker, he's really proud of Carl. And then Carl introduces everyone to Nick, who's much bigger than Carl. He's 18 years old, and he's been locked up for a long time. He actually set his father on fire on purpose, probably because he was getting abused. Sean fucks Fiona at a fish aquarium. He tells her about the assistant manager position again, and he tells her there's no one else he trusts more. Lip sees another student come out of Helene's place. Turns out it's just her son. Fiona mentions to Ian about not forgetting to take his meds, which of course really probably pisses him off. Debbie is crying in her room and Fiona wants to help, but Debbie says, go away, Fiona. Frank's laying at Bianca's grave again. Helene comes to Lip's room, mad that Lip beat up her son Dylan. She sees that he slept with Tiffany Thomas, as Tiffany Thomas is laying there naked. And she's like, oh, hi, da-da-da-da-da. And she tells Lip he has no right to be near her family or her house. Fiona wakes up to Frank watching her sleep. And, actually, I forgot to mention the fact when Frank went back to Bianca's grave, or her headstone, he started playing with himself, with her panties on himself and her bra on himself. Not directly, but over his clothes. Not tightened or anything like that. So it was a little weird. And then the person that's kind of in charge of the graves and all that, I forgot the official title for them. He sprayed Frank with water to get him to go away. And then we have, like I said, Frank was watching Fiona sleep just because he wants to tell her he loves her. Derek's parents come over and want to talk to Fiona about Derek and Debbie's baby. Remember, Fiona had no idea, as Debbie told her she's not pregnant. And then Fiona gives Debbie a look, and Carl says, holy shit, what else did I miss? And then we have a mid-credit scene as we have Ian seeing Frank walking around in Bianca's panties. So Ian says, nice panties, ending the episode. So pretty good episode, a good way to start the season. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. My characters of the episode are going to be Lip and Fiona. Good stuff here. I think toward after season 6 is when it starts to fall off a bit for sure, but I'll have to wait and see. But we got some good content. I believe Lip becomes an alcoholic in this season or at the end of the season, so that'll be interesting to relive. So you've heard what I have to say. Now, of course, it's your turn. If you're a fan of Shameless and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing that like button. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to hit that sub button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Sound off. Let me know what your score is and whom would be your character or characters of the episode. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, again, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. You're watching the video anyway. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.